Back to follow-up segment tonight. Two stories out of Los Angeles. First, actor Christian Bale, who stars as Batman in the new film, visited some of the wounded in the Colorado massacre situation. Also, the company that produced the film, Warner Brothers, may donate $1 million to a fund for the shooting victims, and we hope they do. Joining us now from Burbank, the author of the best-selling book, Not Taco Bell Material, Adam Carolla. So first of all, I think you should go to Warner Brothers and go up to the CEO, whoever it is, I don't even know who it is, and say, look, $1 million, you're gonna you make that in 2 minutes on this Batman movie. That's nothing. Why don't you set up an endowment for some of the kids that have lost their moms or dads in this thing, and be a little bit generous? I think we should do that right off the bat, right?
Yeah, you make $1 million in fanny pack sales in 1 week of Batman, just memorabilia. So $1 million is nothing. It's sort of weird that they even said $1 million in this day and age, because it's tantamount to, you know, a medium-sized house in the Hollywood Hills, number one. Number two, it's interesting that everyone in Hollywood calls it a tragedy, but everyone on Fox calls it or everyone calls it, I swapped that one around, sorry. They all call it a tragedy, yes, and we call it a massacre, which is what it was. Yeah, I mean, a tragedy is when a roof collapsed.
Tragedy doesn't fit a violent crime, and journalists know that, and that's why we invite. But I don't want anybody to think that I'm indicting Warner Brothers or the movie. They had nothing to do with this. I mean, the movie is the movie. It's supposed to be a good movie, and it didn't incite anything. And I don't want people to get the wrong impression. However, in the charitable realm, all right, when you can help, and this Batman movie worldwide made about $300 million in the first week. In its first week, $300 million. It's a $1 billion property. So to me, if I'm Warner Brothers, I said, you know what? We're going to do some scholarship activity. We're going to make sure that we can help people who need to be helped in here, just because we want to show that we're Americans and we care about other Americans. Now, Christian Bale, he did the right thing. He traveled to Denver, and yeah, he gets good publicity out of it, but I don't begrudge him that. He took the time. I'm sure the people were happy to see him. He did the right thing. But I think right now that Hollywood itself has to coalesce around the victims, the children involved and everybody else, and help out. So I want you, Adam Carolla, to insist they do it, or else I'm going to have to come out there, Adam, and nobody wants that.
I do not want to be disciplined by you, Bill, so I will definitely rally them. And the scariest thing about this whole massacre / tragedy is the fact that everyone was worried about copycat scenarios, which to me is the scariest thing of all.
Yeah, there was one guy in Maine. Yeah, they found him with a lot of guns. But, you know, look, it's a free society. You got nuts everywhere. Now, we sent an undercover...
No, I understand, but the notion that somebody may be sitting at home going, oh, wait, I forgot to go out and massacre a bunch of people in the theater this weekend, and now I'm reminded to do it, that's a very scary notion. I don't think it really exists.
Well, I don't know.
think the news cooks it up.
There are pretty crazy people around, and any kind of a fuse lit can lead to destruction. All right, let's change gears here. We sent a factor producer into an L.A. marijuana clinic, a medical marijuana clinic. We believe we saw Carolla scurrying out the back door, but it might not have been you. Anyway, that was a couple of years ago, and we told the folks this is a big ruse. Medical marijuana, if you got a pain in your thumb, all you got to do is pay the doctor on hand $300, which he puts in his pocket. He gives you a script. You walk out with 5 pounds of marijuana. Now the L.A. City Council has finally caught on and is closing a lot of these places down. Correct? Because you got a bunch of zombies walking around the streets of L.A., stoned out of their mind, and they're saying, you know, we can't have this anymore.
A couple of things. First off, Scurrying Out of the Back Door was a movie I starred in the 80s, and I'm not proud of it. You can look it up. We'll move on. It's a different chapter in my life, number one. Number two, it was funny because Kimmel said to me, have you noticed that there's all these cupcake stores that are opening in Los Angeles, all these high-end cupcake stores a few years ago? And I said, yeah. And he said, you ever think it's connected to all the pot dispensaries? And I said, you're exactly right. There were no cupcake stores 10 years ago, and there were no pot dispensaries. Look, I believe that if you want to grow a pot plant in your backyard on land that you own, you should be able to do it. Obviously, this stuff is a hoax and a ruse, and these are drugs. And by the way, pot is powerful. It's a powerful drug now. I'm not really anti-marijuana, but it is a drug, and it has become way too powerful. And I was saying to your producer earlier, they should put a restrictor plate on this stuff like NASCAR has on it, because pot is too powerful now.
Yeah, that
but
THC
also, my mom was a hippie.
There, and if you get behind the wheel of a car, you can hurt somebody, and you can, you know, it's really.
My mom was a
Go ahead.
My mom was a hippie in 1971, and she was arguing about legalizing marijuana. If you would have told her in 1971 that pot is still going to be legal, or we're still going to be arguing about it in 2012, she would have sharpened her bong and fell on it.
There you go. But we are still talking about it. Adam Carolla, thanks as always. Plenty more ahead.